Ah, okay. We're live. I see. It's just a huge delay. Um, well, welcome to Chris Anderson Comics. We're going to be doing a commission today of Skeletor from Masters of the Universe. It's a commission for one of my Patreon subscribers. And if you subscribe to my Patreon, at the $3 level, I'll send this Masters of the Universe sketchbook. Let me actually switch over to this view. So you can see a few years ago for Inktober, I did a bunch of the Masters of the Universe characters um, and created this sketchbook. Let me see here. Check this. And I had such fun drawing them that I continued to do it and made these mini comics, which I'm going to do a whole video on pretty soon anyway. But if you join the Patreon at the $3 level, I send you the sketchbook. I actually sketch in the mouth of Castle Grayskull. And at the $5 a month level, I'll send you both of these mini comics that I did, and I'll get into more depth on those later. And then at the $8 level, after a year, you get a commission. Now, people who were on the commission tier in the past got an 11 by 17 commission at the end of a year for $8 a month. And then I realized, oh my gosh, like they are actually paying less than I charge for the small commission. So starting last month, anybody who joins at the $8 level isn't going to get an 11 by 17. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but still just as cool. It just takes me a lot longer to do an 11 or 11 by 17 commission. And I put a lot into these things. I really do. So what I want to show you is sort of how I go about doing these commissions, especially for someone like Skeletor. Now, I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. I had all the toys when I was a kid, and I watched the cartoon, although I liked the mini comics a lot more than I did the cartoon. So here is one of the mini comics, actually drawn by Mark Texiera of Ghost Rider and Sabretooth fame in the 90s, an incredible illustrator. In these mini comics, like Tila wasn't, the daughter of Man-at-Arms. She was the goddess. Man-at-Arms had no mustache, and in my mind still does not. And yeah, it's just a lot of like small things that were different. And Skeletor wasn't a wimp like he is in the cartoon. So I always kind of liked that version of Skeletor. Here's my Skeletor from when I was a kid. I still got him, although I don't have his armor anymore. Nobody has their armor anymore. You can kind of see if I switch over here. So when I started to think about this commission and the way that I draw Skeletor, now I draw him differently all the time. I just have fun with him and just kind of I don't stick to one style with him, but I do like him to be a little bit creepier and weirder looking. This is kind of this face on the action figure was kind of weird. It's almost got like war paint on it with the green around it and the yellow. And I think it's was supposed to be like the outside of the skull was deep set, so it was darker, and then like the skull emerges out of the shadow. so it's yellow, but it just always looked like war paint or something to me, and they never depict him that way in any way that I've ever seen, really, with the green and the yellow skull. Um, but they have, in the past, sort of depicted him. Well, here's your classic. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see the glare. No, okay. So here's your classic cartoon He-Man, right? And here is the original drawing from the toy. So you can see it's pretty similar, and it's got the green. And then here is another drawing of the way he looked in the mini comics. Just kinda creepy with those black eyes and the red center. I always like that, and those look at those teeth. So bizarre the way they drew them, but it's creepy as hell. And I like to draw teeth sort of like that. I think maybe I got it from this early on, but, so anyway, in order to do this commission, I had to think about all the different versions of Skeletor that there are, and the most original versions that there are, the better for me. They were weirder and creepier, and everybody tries to draw this big, like, big badass '90s like inspired extreme Skeletors, and then like the new cartoons. The new cartoons are cool. I like them and everything, but I don't know, the designs to me, I think you can just go in a different direction, and that's what's so great about Masters of the Universe to me is, like, you can make up your own story, your own version of anything. So, I wanted to have him sort of, sit in a chair, so I had to take a reference photo. So, here you go. Here's the reference photo of me being an idiot in a chair with a Christmas tree watering, um, funnel. And then I sort of went through and looked at different versions. So I've got kind of what his chair looks like. And I hate the design of this chair, by the way. It's like, I don't know, just so all over the place. I think they could have done a much cooler job. The original painting for the action figures and sort of one of the drawings from the mini comic. And then I had my, original toy here to kind of look at. And then I just did a quick sketch sort of like this to see what it was going, drew some perspective lines. I hardly ever use a ruler. I'm really bad about that. I probably should, but I don't. Um, just kind of eyeballed the perspective on that and said, I'll finish it later. So that's sort of how I got the red eyes and the just deep, creepy look on him. And then I went and put it on the 11 by 17 paper. Let me just blow this up real quick. There we go. So this is the direction that I'm going to go with the um, commission. Now, the thing that I noticed when I looked at the staff that he has, this I always thought it was just a regular ram skull, but if you look at the drawing of it, it's very it's very weird. It's not like a skull at all. It's sort of like a shriveled skin husk almost. Doesn't have teeth. It's like a lizard head and then with some horns on it. So, I'm gonna go that way. So, I did the pencils early so that, I wasn't wasting your time or mine, hours, trying to figure out the drawing. Um, I ended up balancing it out with this window over here. Maybe I'll throw, like, I don't know, some sort of ship coming to crash into the building or something. Um, and now I'll start inking. So, what I use is I use these Kuretake brush pens. I really love them, especially when they're fresh. In fact, I buy them in bulk. I'll just get like 50 at a time, and the tips of these things will wear out real fast, and then they're just sort of deadline pens after that. So I've got a pile of fully functional working deadline pens, and I use them, but, I'm constantly cracking new ones of these open because I just love the tip on them. Unfortunately, they just don't last very long, so popping a new one open, I get them at Jet Pens in case anybody is wondering where you can find these things. And then I use, a Pentel brush pen, and, I'll hit it up with this, like, secret weapon Copic brush pen that is dying, but it makes really cool fades. I learned that tip and trick from Dave Johnson, and I actually have a drawing by him up on the wall where he uses it. It's just makes a really cool fade. So, hey Ron, how you doing? I can actually see you on the chat now. Hey, check it out. Both places. All right, I'm gonna get into it here. Oh, there is another tier level on the Patreon actually. It's called the God tier level. I didn't know what else to call it because one of my patrons is amazing and contributes a higher number every month. So I just heard from them. We're gonna go over, and what they get to do is help me plot out the next mini comic. I mean, it doesn't have to be Masters of the Universe; it can be anything. But we'll plot it out together. And, for supporting my Patreon at that level, they'll have a little bit of creative input into the next thing that I give to people. All right, let's go in and do this. So I don't know why I always start with the head, but I do. Is my head in the way? Yeah, my big old melon. It's more than you expected. Oh, I aim to surprise and please. I was just telling people that at the level that you backed, you're getting an 11 by 17, and I think from now on people are just going to get a smaller one. Still awesome, but it's just that these things take so much longer, and I charge so much more for these. You think you need to up it? You gonna go to the God tier? Because that's the only one that you can go to after that. Help me plot the next mini. Now the dream obviously would be to do a official Masters of the Universe comic. Um, and it's not, well, I don't know what to say about it, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Let's just put it that way. I've spoken to individuals who could help facilitate that. So since high school, I've done these like swirl eyes, and for whatever reason, they kind of work for me as like something that's sort of creepy. It's not in the realm of realism at all, but it sort of pulls you in. It's like hypnotic eyes, and sometimes, I'll use them on things because it just works. So Ron, who's chiming in here, is the recipient of this, commission. I never really thought Skeletor should be, like, as sort of, like, bumbling of a fool as he was in the cartoons. Like, what's the point of He-Man being the most powerful man in the universe if, he just has to kind of basically sit back and relax and let these get in their own way. So when I do the mini comics, I kind of like to lean more in the other direction. Oh, thanks, Ron. I'm trying to figure out what the next project is I'm gonna do. I've got a couple pitches out right now. I'm waiting to hear back from publishers, but that is the name of the game is they get excited to hear from you sometimes, and then they just don't reply back. So you just gotta kind of keep bothering them to the point where you are uncomfortable with it. And then sometimes they get back to you. I'm working on a pitch now also with some other creators, other writers. Just trying to figure out what I can say, what I should say about it. Maybe I'm talking too much, trying to fill air. No worries, Ron. It'll be up. You can check it out later. So Tim Seeley, who's doing the writing the Masters of the Universe comics for Dark Horse right now, well, he has been actually for a long time. He's been sort of the go-to Masters of the Universe comics writer, which is really awesome. He does a fantastic job. Um, he's working with Kelly Jones, the great Kelly Jones, um, Dead Man, Batman Nightfall, where Batman gets his back broken by Bane, all that business. And he's an incredible horror illustrator too. He is drawing Masters of the Universe right now and adding a whole other sort of flavor to it that I really love, and it actually kind of harkens back to those original minis that I showed you earlier, where his eyes are kind of deep set and creepy. At first, I saw that Kelly Jones was drawing Masters of the Universe, and I was like, "Ah, man, really? That's gonna be kinda weird." And then I saw it and I said, "Nope, I was absolutely wrong. That is perfect. He's perfect for it." Because he's bringing something different to the table too, and that's important. Because like I said, it's like the whole thing that's cool with this universe is that there should be different versions of it. There should be, um, every creator that comes to the table should be able to bring their own style and, play in their own, backyard with these guys. And, yeah, the Kelly Jones version is it's really cool and dark and creepy, and I really like it. I think if I got the chance, I would have a little bit of that and also just a little bit of, bonkers action. Ron, you're planning to read Los Angeles again this weekend? That's awesome, man. Los Angeles was the first full-length book that I ever did. David Accampo, uh, my friend who I work with quite a bit, we just released Spectral, together. We did a video on this channel to go through Spectral and how we came up with it and the process and all that stuff. But, he wrote Lost Angels also. Um, Lost Angels is going through some really cool things right now. Hopefully, we'll have some news for you in the future about it. If you haven't picked up Lost Angels and you wanna check it out, it's like a sci-fi, um, mystery story, and it is available on my website, chrisandersoncomics.com. So with the brush, I kinda like to I like to let it get a little squirrely and do its own thing. My, my thing with brush inking is always, to make the line a little thicker at the apex of a curve. And, talking with Dan Pinotion, he always would say to me that, I gotta consider the weight of the figure that I'm drawing and kind of make the line thicker. I took it to be like where the weight would be distributed, but I could have been totally wrong about that because a little bit that didn't make sense to me. I'm gonna have to talk to him again about that. But if I gotta make like a long line sometimes, or if I should have done like the bat on his chest with this pen because this can make a straighter line and a more delicate one. It'll go to a nice fine point, and that is what I love about these fresh ones. Also got to consider the fact that I put a window here, so I got a light source now. So light is coming from behind, so it's going to be darker on the left side here. Time we got. It's been about what, 25 minutes. It's been too much time talking. I don't want to go much more than an hour. I've been spending a lot of time actually looking at teeth and how to draw them properly. I like to make them uneven, you know, like Skeletor didn't have braces. Maybe there's a chip in them. But, the great Junji Ito draws great teeth, but he used to be a dental hygienist or a dental assistant. So he knows his teeth, and they're anatomically correct, and it makes them even creepier than somebody who, doesn't know how to draw teeth. You know who draws great teeth and who I actually got it from is Dave Johnson because the teeth sort of start out back there and then they come out and then in sort of like a S shape. That's what your teeth do. And if you just do that one little weird move, it kind of changes the vibe of your character. All right, let's get into the meat of this thing here. Let's get silly with this brush. For his anatomy, I gotta kind of go with real anatomy, but also sort of the fake anatomy that the figure has. Sort of meet it in the middle. All right, the hands. Hands are always fun to draw because they could either go really well or horribly wrong. Hands are the next most recognizable thing on a person other than a face, and they have personality of their own and can be very easily drawn poorly. So, studying the hands, if you're trying to be an artist, is paramount to what you do. See these, um, he always had 3 toes, all the bad guys, and some of the good guys in the Masters of the Universe had 3 toes. Well, actually 4, I guess, if you count the back one. I forgot about that, and I should probably work it in, actually, and he's also got a fin in the back. But, the in all the drawings that I've found, the toes are exposed, not a full boot, so I kinda went with that. But they were also, like, metal, um, what do you call foot gauntlets? I don't know. Uh, and these also look like backwards wings almost. So anyway, I tried to make them more like a somewhere in between a metal and a cloth in texture on this. You know, it's a fantastic planet that he lives on, so they got different materials than we do. How's that spike go? Yeah, maybe I'm gonna miss that spike. I should give him that long back toe though. this thing on his belt, in the drawing that they have for the action figure, it looks like a I don't know, like some quasi bird sort of thing. But on this actual thing, on the real belt, he looks like it looks like a like somebody beheaded ET and stuck it on there, or a pig snout or something. It's really weird. So, of course, I'm gonna go with the beheaded ET pig snout looking thing. 'Cause I said at this point, I like to just have the brush get squirrely a little bit and do what it's gonna do because oftentimes I find that these happy accidents oh shoot, smeared the ink a bit. They bring about better solutions to visual problems than I could have by forcing it. So a tiny bit of haste when I ink is actually helpful. Okay. 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 Um, oh, I'll go in and detail a little bit. Add ends to some of these brush strokes. hatch a bit. So here's where this thing comes in. Just adds a little bit of shadow into things. It's not a common inking technique at all, but now with printing and the scanning process the way that it is, you can get away with this, whereas you couldn't before when you the old way of processing the plates and whatnot to do comics. Also got this Tombow brush. When they start to dye, they do some cool things too. Like dry brush and feathering. I'm trying to cast a longer shadow on something like that. I can do that. And then go in with this one and do the same. Fade it in. A lot of artists out there that um, love a super clean line and poo-poo any kind of dry brush or any other technique that isn't, something that like Frank Quitely or Mobius would do. I just don't agree with that at all. Do what works for you. Make a compelling image, and that's what's important. Finger if you have to. I have two gloves on because I tend to, it's not even for smearing purposes. It's because I tend to get the oils from my hands on the paper, and then when I go to ink, the ink, um, is repelled by the oils from my hands, and so I have to ink over solid blacks over and over and over again, and it drives me absolutely nuts, so I do whatever I can to avoid that. Thanks, Hyper Potato. Yeah, I'm gonna do another video probably right after this, talking about, oh, thanks. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Uh, you're hoping for a Thundar at Heroes Con. Uh, you will get a Thundar at Heroes Con. Um, hit me up on my email or on social or whatever. Um, Chris Anderson Comics at Gmail or um, Chris Anderson Comics at Instagram. And yeah, I can get started on that anytime. Actually, I'm gonna do. I'll be at Emerald City Comic Con in a couple weeks, and then Heroes Con. I got a comp to table there, so I will definitely be there. And then I will be at I think it's called Minnesota Con right before that, which is an easy one because that's where I'm from, and my mom still lives there, so I can stay at her place, and which is always nice. And then I'll be doing Baltimore, and I think that's going to be it for conventions for me this year because that's a lot as it is. So whether or not my God tier level Patreon subscriber decides that they want to do a Masters of the Universe theme mini comic or not, I do plan on doing another one, and that will go out to all of my backers at the $5 and over level also. So if you want to get a hold of those, back the Patreon. Like I said before, the $3 level gets you the Masters of the Universe sketchbook, and the $5 tier gets you the two mini comics and the sketchbook. All right, let's see. I got these Pigma calligrapher pens, and they're really cool. Um, they're like a chisel tip. They're great for hatching. They're also great for like the water ones are great for doing like, things like buildings and cracks and stuff like that. But when I got one to really hatch small, I can do it fast because it parallels them real easily. I think he's coming together pretty well. Now I got to get the lighting on these hands without screwing it up. Like I said, I don't really use rulers too much. Too often, I should say. Even to do my perspective lines, I probably should. I have a 10-point divider. It's this thing, which is super helpful for making evenly spaced dots to then draw the perspective grid. And I should use it more, but I don't because I'm dumb. I just kind of just go like this and then hope for the best. And I screwed it up already, so good thing that side's going to be blacked out. That'll work. One more thinner one. My version of those sort of metallic Kirby lines. All right, so the hands. So we start brushing sort of in the direction of the curve of the fingers first, and then around the knuckles. All the little weird folds and the fingers and stuff, gotta maintain those. And then the knuckles. All right, now I gotta get a little bit more delicate to keep these folds weird. And these knuckles. Knuckly. Knuckly? I don't know. Sure, why not? Coming up on an hour. I'll go a little bit longer. Clearly, I'm not going to get the whole darn thing done today, but at least I can take it a little further. And then the final, I'll put up on the Patreon. So after you join, I'm sure you will. You'll be able to see what how it came. uh, you had to dip out because the wife called, and I'll start everything over. Okay. Well, you missed some riveting conversation between myself and myself. I gotta tell you, I love doing these, um, but it is kind of weird to have a conversation with yourself. And it is really great when all of you chime in, um, give me something to bounce off of. I just got contacts and I keep trying to push my glasses up and sticking my thumb in my eye. So that's how things have been going over here. All right. So the sun's coming through there. Hard same, hyper potato. Ah, yeah. I mean, it's about time for my eyes to start going bad for up close, but knock on wood, they haven't yet. But it's inevitable. It happens to every single one of us to some degree. I could never see far away. So good thing I could see close up, or I wouldn't be sitting right here living the dream. Just hatching with the curve of the arm right now. Doesn't really matter which direction I go as long as I got the curve at this point. And then it'll be darker here, so I'll curve again, go a different direction. Am I an 80s kid? Yeah. Yep. Born in 77. Probably the perfect age for when He-Man first dropped into the toy stores. Um, you know, Thundar, I remember seeing it, but it wasn't as huge of a thing for me when I was little. Um, Probably because they didn't ever really capitalize on the toy market. I mean, that marketing for He-Man and Masters of the Universe was something else. But the thing is, with Thundar, you had uh, Alex Toth designing, the main three, and then Jack Kirby coming in and designing the villains. Come on. And then the designs for the He-Man, the Masters Universe characters are just ridiculously good. Even though the toys are, you know, some of them were mix and match. Um, and that's kind of what right after this, like I said, I'm going to do a video on these. But that's sort of the first two anyway, was the idea that, like Stinkor and Merman were the same head mold, you know? They just painted it differently. But it worked. And you can make two distinct designs out of the same basic pieces, like Beastman and Mossman. Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't a Thundar comic either, and I'm surprised there still isn't. Um, what I don't know what I would rather do. Like, if I could do either or, I would be in heaven. Honestly, just those both of those franchises are just too much fun. Big weird knees. So the light's coming from here. I'm hoping I'll have a new mini comic ready by Heroes Con time. Um, some, and then back to Patreon, we'll get obviously that in the, but then also I will be able to give some out at the conventions. I do like doing them. They're just fun. It's your time, which I don't have a ton of between doing stories and comics. Just I've been very lucky. And still today, I've not been in previews. Well, I guess I have heavy metal, but any of the other comics, and yet still somehow making a living out of it in shops very, very often, except for my indie books. So hopefully that's a regular book or do my own. $4.14. Is there a character that is more fun to draw despite him being a favorite? You a favorite of mine or a favorite of a fan favorite? Let me see. Hmm. How do I answer that? Um, well, I didn't honestly really love Stinkor. He's one of my ones to draw. Um, Straps didn't used to be a favorite of my character, a favorite character of mine, but now honestly, he's one of my favorites. Such a weird character. Him and Zodak, and so I love drawing both of the two. In fact, I think that at some point I'm going to have to Stratos and Zodak and it Patreon members because I really love those designs. And Zodak is so underused and range, and like he's got those um, feet like this too. Like, what is his story? And I know that there's canon stuff about what he is and what they are, like a few of them now, right? But I take it in a totally different direction. I do with all the other the little boosts that I do. So I'm giving him do cloth and stuff like that, just smashing this thing down is thing to do. And it takes a minute to get it back in shape, working order. But it's working. Oh, you know what? Thinking of your question, hyper potato. Um, I kind of grew out of the figures years by time. Spout, and drew him for the other day, and that character is wild. I know, and I would like to do it again. While my brush is being dry but brushy, I'm gonna take advantage of it because it will snap back if I use it correctly after a little bit. A lot of people poo-poo these Pentel pens. Oh, any real cartoonist would, man, I can get a great line of these. And like I said, I mash the hell out of it. It behaves in a totally different way, and then I can pop it back. Okay, so I think I'm to a point now where pretty happy with the way the figure's looking, and I needed to do the chair. There's a lot of blacks. There's a lot of things that gotta go into it to fit it in and get the lighting right. But I'm liking where it's going. I'm liking the way it adds textures to it. So, yeah, um, I'm going to stop the video now, and finish it. If you want the end product, join on my Patreon. Any level, I'll be posting it up. Like I said, one more time, let's do it again. $3 level, I'll send you a massive sketchbook for as a gift. At the $5 level, I'll all three of the two comics. Not N nor Beast, but Mom extension C. Um, you can get after them. You're still gonna get them. I'm just hoping that you'll stick around when you see all the other awesome stuff that I have on there and coming in. You go to the $8 level, you'll get a commission after a year. It'll be a little smaller than this, but you'll get a commission at the end of a year. And then if you go to the God tier, well, then you can help me figure out what I'm gonna do for the next mini comic. Doesn't have to be. It can be anything. It can be a don't care. Whatever we want. The world our oyster. Um, and also just wanted to let you know that my book with David Acampo, who also did Lost Angels with me, Spectral, is out. You can go at spectralcomic.com, or if you could go to my website, chrisandersoncomics.com, I will do sketch and sign for a little bit more price. But it's pretty awesome, and I think it's worth it. So talk to you later, and I look forward to doing more of these. And have a great